This is a wooden ironing board, so we can nail tacks. We don't have to sew. It's a no-sew project. Originally I thought, okay, I'll make a cute cover that I can remove. Well, it's just as easy to remove tacks and replace the cover. Change the color. Use some more fabric scraps that you have around. I looked everywhere for a ironing board cover that would fit a wooden ironing board. These ironing boards are much longer than what they have now, so even if it's too wide, that would have been okay. I could cinch it down, but the fact that they're not long enough means that you basically have to make you a cover. So after removing layers and layers and layers of fabric on this ironing board, we're down to 2 layers of muslin, and I'm going to take off 1 layer and keep the last layer before I add some fabric. Ultimately, we want to have a layer of muslin, a layer of wool. You can cut up an old blanket, or my mother just happened to have some red wool fabric that she's never going to use. And then I also had some fabric that I found at a yard sale, so I'm going to top the red wool with some cotton. We are removing our little upholstery tacks, and the best thing to use is a little crowbar, pry bar to get these out. Just pops right out. I am taking the tacks that we removed. I'm just going to push them up through the wood on the bottom to hold my fabric in place so that I can flip it upside down. Just going to take our tacks out. They were just there so that I could flip it over. And then we will center this fabric and cut around it the shape of the ironing board. Now that I have my fabric cut, I'm going to use it as a pattern to cut 2 layers of my wool. Cotton padding, then I have the muslin, then I have the 2 wool layers. What we've done is tack one side down, and now I'm going to do the other. And this is really the hardest part, are the corners. Pull that side down, this side down. We fold this up, and then we're going to roll this over, and then we tack it down. I'm using the same tacks that came out of this piece, and they're probably better than anything I could buy now. I'm going to pull it tight. And we're going to continue down the side. We'll hide the edge. I think there's enough nail length to do that. We have it all the way around. It's not perfect, but it's good enough for our ironing, which is not too frequently. I hate to cover the red up, but we're going to. One more cover. This is the cotton that we're going to put over top of the wool. We're going to turn the board upside down again, just like we did in the previous cuttings, and cut this piece. I could have just gone ahead and cut it using the other pieces, as a outline. That would have been easier, I'm sure, but I forgot. We're going to measure 5 inches out to give an extra 2 inches to fold over top of the red on the back, just to make sure everything stays taut. And go ahead and look at your pattern and see how you want the image to go. Do you want it to run exactly straight? Look at your margins. Is it fairly equal? Or do I want to reverse this thing and make it go diagonally? The top cover has been cut. And what we want to do is cover all the red. So that's why I cut this a little longer. And when you fold it, I want this to be right up against that red just about. Just like that. And then we're going to give it a good stretch. And I'm going to use the vintage original old wide thumb tacks. I think that'll hold it better than the carpet tacks. To get these corners nice, you need to fold the fabric in the center, fold this over just like that, keep this a little flat, fold this lip up, fold that up. That can go underneath. There you've got a pretty nice fold. And then we're going to tack it down. Maybe a little bit long. I don't like anything up in the mechanism, but that's not moving, that's static. It's really that simple. A little whack. And then we're going to continue down, just folding up and tacking the edge. Right there. Fold this over. Pull it taut. Press that under. And then we'll pin it. That looks pretty good. You can always take these out later. Walk down the fabric, continue folding and pulling and pinning. We're doing the end piece, and I literally have just pulled it out, kind of squished in the sides, folded the tip up, squish that down, fold it up, and put in a nail. Done. How exciting. I have never had an ironing board. I've had a little tiny travel ironing board that I've put on my dining room table for years. That is quite an accomplishment. Wow. That's a really pretty ironing board. Vintage at that.